Hey guys, Rebels at Cloud9 here. I'm going to be starting a new build today. This is a kit I didn't know actually existed until I bought it. It's actually until I saw it. This is the Airfix 72nd scale old tooled F-104 Starfighter. And you can see it's in Canadian markings, which is partly the reason why I really wanted it. Picked this up at an antique store for about, what did I pay? $5. Pretty good, eh? And I took out the decals. They're bleaching in my window right now. Let me just see my calendar here. Yeah. Tomorrow it will have been 2 weeks. I might wait a little longer on them. They're not quite bleaching how I'd like them, but sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. Because it's a great kit and it's Canadian. So that's really awesome. I haven't built anything Canadian. I've never built a Starfighter. I've always wanted to. It's one of my dad's favorite aircraft. He absolutely loves this one and the Phantom. So yeah, let's take a look at this kit here real quick. So here, this is basically how I got it. A lot of the parts are off of the sprues, but it's not that bad a detail. I can't, you know, looking over this kit a couple times, I really can't figure out why this hasn't been like released quite often like a lot of their other old kits. A lot of their old tool, they kept re-releasing them over and over again. And this one, they barely ever did that with. It's a little interesting. The only thing I think I found is a bit of a fault right now off the bat is the wings look a little too down at an angle. I thought about cutting them off and repositioning them, but that's going to be more work than it's worth in the end, I think. So here we have the bottom. It's just a very nice looking little tub here. Nothing for any cockpit detail. It's just a chair that goes right there, but plenty of space in there for weight in the nose, which is really nice. It's really thick plastic too, so I quite like that. Here we have the back exhaust. So this is actually where it would come apart on the real one, in this section here. It's quite nice. It's all raised panel lines. We do get a pilot figure. I think this is going to be one of the few kits where I actually put a pilot in it. He doesn't look half bad. You know, let me just get some better lighting in here. Uh-oh, red light. Gotta quit here. Running out of battery. So I think I might use him. I'm not sure yet. Here's the thruster in the back. Yeah, it's very basic detail, but it's pretty good. It's nothing bad about it. Like, it's very simple, looks great. Now I'm going to charge my battery and I'm going to start painting the canopy here. I'm going to just paint it all black. But one thing I wanted to mention is the color scheme here. I was looking around trying to find this 703 and there's quite a few pictures of it. I'm going to include a link, trying to remember to include a link to another Canadian modeler. He's building the same model in 1/5 scale. It's RC, and he painted the tail red. And I'm going to do the same thing. I don't care if it's correct or incorrect. It looks fantastic with the red tail. And then he painted the drop tanks. I'm going to put the drop tanks on, not the rockets. He painted them red as well. It really makes it look very Canadian. It's beautiful red and silver plane. And so I'm going to do the same thing. So yeah, I'm going to go charge the battery here. And like I said, I'm just going to paint the cockpit black. Very, very basic. I'm not worried about it too much, going all super detail and everything. It's just going to be straight out of the box fun. And yeah, this is going to be a really fun project. I'm really looking forward to this one. Alright, kind of one reason I don't usually like to do jets as much is I don't like putting weight in the nose and stuff. I don't like doing front sitters, but or nose sitters, I guess. Front sitters. Get it together, man. But I've stuck a lot of lead in here, so that should do pretty well. Whoa! And I just broke some of it off. A little super glue can take care of that, no problem. Actually, that's probably what I should have done for all of it. Anyways, that's gonna be pretty nice sitting like that. So there, and it feels pretty good. I still have a little bit to put in the nose should things not work out, but I think this is going to be more than enough. I really do. It's pretty darn heavy. The other thing too here is I'm painting the pilot. I was trying to find colors for these guys, and kind of part of the problem is Airfix just made a kind of generic pilot, which Canada didn't have them really looking like this in a lot of ways. In a lot of aspects, who cares, because it's 72nd scale and it'll look fine. But it looks like they did have different helmet styles, but again, I don't really care. It's not going to kill me. But the uniforms were blue, and the vest was orange, and then yeah, the mask there, that's going to be black, and then the helmet they were typically white. So I'm going to do that and then paint the visor there black as well. So that should look pretty nice, I think. Got the seat done up here. Again, it's just very simple. I'm not going all out on this one. So yeah, let's super glue this bit back on there. And let's glue this together here. So as I was talking about before, this guy, he's really amazing at these remote control builds, and he did the whole thing of the his 104 there. It's amazing what he did. So I'm gonna hopefully remember to put the link to it down below there. I hope you can go and check that out. It's absolutely fantastic what he did. And he had like I said, he had the wing tanks red, and later he made them silver, but oh, it just looks so good in red. I can't pass that up. So I'm really looking forward to that. I got a spray paint for that that I'm going to use. Where is it? Bought this for another project, but it'll look really good on this one. Bright Mica Red TS85. So that's gonna look really nice. I just hope the decals work. If they don't, I do have a plan B. But I'd like to keep that classic Airfix decal style to these. The other ones that I found, they are very, very, very updated, and they look absolutely amazing. They're from a company called Canuck Models. They're Canadian, obviously with a name like Canuck, and they just look great. But they're very, very heavy on every little stencil and thing like that. So I bought a set of rondelles from them just a little while ago. So they could be here. They could be here tomorrow, actually. So I'm a little nervous to see how this plastic is going to bond, because it is silver and it's old. Sometimes old silver doesn't really work too well. Silver is one of my least favorite plastics to bond because of that. I find it just doesn't want to cooperate all the time. Worst is black plastic. Oh, hate black plastic. That is the one that is the kicker in the balls. It just, yeah, that's just a lot of times does not want to bond properly. Okay, let's see how this goes here. That fits there and there. Cool. Good so far, so far. Alright, I'm liking this. So popping up a little bit there. What do I want to use here? I want this for this. There. And I think I'm just going to hold it right now. Okay, there. We'll tape it up like that, really tight, so I don't want this to pop out again. Okay, and in the back here, that is not nice. Ugh. I think we're just going to use some extra thin. I gotta buy a new extra thin cement. Like, this stuff is not nice anymore. It's got too much dirt in it. Ugh, this isn't nice at all here in the back. That wing root. Ooh. Maybe these will be nice. Yeah, kinda. Let's put another one on there. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave this and then come back to it and see how it's doing. It's looking pretty good with the rest of the plane. But I think I'm gonna go with my original idea and put some more extra thin along here and here, just to really cement all that in properly. So I won't have to, you know, worry about it later. These are not holding the way I want them to. And taping it won't do any. Anyways, 7 minutes. 7 minutes of wasting your time. What I do best. Alright, I'll go and let this sit and dry a little while. I think it'll be okay. I think I just got to give it some time, and then, yeah, there's going to be a bit of cleanup work on it, but nothing too extreme, I think. I think it'll be just fine in the end. Alright, I've got quite a bit done on it in some respects. I dropped it, and that wasn't good, because my weight fell out, rattled out of the back. So yeah, not too impressed with that. I was able to put some more in the nose as well as some putty, and it still feels like it's very, very nose heavy, even with the tail on and everything like that. And come here, come here, come here. Hey, come here. Come here. Yes, there, good. Got the figure painted. Quite happy with him, actually. Looks pretty good, I think. Then too fancy. I'm gonna glue him in next. Then what am I gonna do? You wanna say hi? You wanna say hi? Hello, Ginger. How are you? You're gonna go try and find Pella, aren't you? Yeah. Don't know where Pella is. Here. Yeah, I'm kind of at a loss as to what to do next on this thing. I think I'm going to start puttying it pretty quick. I think that's what my end game is here. So I'm going to sand these lines down here. You're okay, you just wait. Sand these lines down, like you can see here, this area here needs to be filled in. In here it needs to be filled in, and a couple other little places. So that won't be too much of a burden to do. There's not a lot to fill in, like right here in the back. Would you just settle down? You're okay. It'll just be a minute. And yeah, then it's going to be start putting on like all the little pieces. Now I forgot about this, and this really annoys me that I never bothered to clean it up. This area right here, this is for the fin in the back, stabilizer. This is for the display stand, and I'm not going to use the display stand, so I have to fill that in. But the problem is when you have a gap like this, to fill it in, a lot of times the putty can sink through. So that's where I'm a little frustrated that might take me a few days to clean up properly, so I'm gonna have to be patient with that. But as far as everything else goes, it's gonna be very, very simple to build. And I think what I'm going to do really quickly here, let me just check my instructions actually. Yeah, these sides, they need to be painted black. There's a thin trim of black here. There's a line here, but it's actually much thinner than that. So what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to, after I get all this puttied and sanded and stuff, I think what I'm going to do is just temporarily glue them in place, and I'll have a bit of a gap. Don't know what to do now. Maybe what I'll do is I'll glue them in and then hand brush that line on there. Hand paint the black instead of airbrushing it. Vallejo would look quite nice if I use that. Because this is not... Ugh, look at that, there's a gap. Very unseemly. And, because it doesn't follow the seams. Anyways. Yeah, this one's actually a bit better, but still, not a terrific fit there. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'll glue them in, sand them down, and just hand brush them on there later. So yeah, it's gonna be quite a bit of filling and everything else. And then, yeah, putting on the air brakes and all that stuff. Oops. I like how they used to like actually write everything on here. Apply transfers. First cut sheet into 22 separate subjects. Oh, they're going to be very precise here. Then dip each into warm water for a few minutes. Slide off the backing into position. For West German markings of the 4 large crosses are applied above and below the outer edges of the wings. Other markings are shown in illustration. So yeah, I'm not going to be doing that one. I'm going to be definitely doing a Canadian one. So that's the plan for right now. I'm going to glue the pilot in. I'm going to mask the canopy. One of them. One of the two in there. I sure hope someone somewhere in the world hasn't bought this kit on eBay and is wondering where their canopy is. I've got it. Okay, where's my tweezers? There they are. There. He looks pretty good, eh? I'm really happy with that. I have to do some touch-ups. I've been nicking it in a couple of the corners there. And, yeah, this is going to be primed. Most definitely going to be primed. Especially with the paint that I'm going to use. So, you know what? It looks pretty decent, hey? It's not too fancy or anything like that. I'm quite happy with that. Okay, let's get the show on the road here. Okay, guys, first off, happy Canada Day. Yeah, been a very nice day, very lovely Canada Day, nice and warm and actually quite hot. And yeah, check out my all Canadian t-shirt here. Hold on. Get my lamp above it. Oh, where am I going here? Ta-da! So that was pretty cool. I actually really like this shirt. Actually, everyone seems to like the shirt because it's bright yellow. And they know where to find me if we ever go out. At least that's what my dad and several other people have told me. So here's the jet. It's all puttied up. And I'm going to wait till Sunday before I sand it down. It's been sitting here for about 2 days, but I like to leave it longer to really shrink a bit more and settle in. And so I hope... Oops, I missed a spot right there. Maybe I can sand that out. We'll see. Yeah, I like to leave it to shrink and settle, and I find that 3 days actually does it pretty good. So that'll be really good. Setting up on the Starfighter here, I noticed, I was looking at natural metal colors, and it'd be so easy to just paint it all silver and be done with it. But I have another aircraft that I started, I haven't finished it yet, and I need to, I want to do multicolor silver with that one. So I've got Vallejo metallic metal color chrome aluminum. I've tried this out, it looks amazing. And I just bought this one, duraluminum, and it's a darker color. And I spilled it all over the top there. So I got these three here, and he didn't have them all in stock. And there's a strike on Canada Post right now. So we won't be getting in any mail, which is really sad. That is going into effect tomorrow. Hold on, here we are. Yeah, this is the exact picture I wanted. So here's the Japanese version of the plane. And the part I wanted to make mention here, where's my pointer? Pointer. There you are. Part I really wanted to address here is this here in the back. It's a more dull silver compared to the rest of the plane here. And I talked to Tim at my local hobby store. Tim used to work on the Voodoo in the military. He was a engineer, electrician on there. I can't remember, one of the two. And I asked him about this, like what kind of causes this. And he said that sometimes they would leave them unpainted, or a harder metal, because this is where a lot of heat would sometimes be. And sometimes the aircraft would actually cause that heat on its own. So that was kind of interesting. So I really wanted that second color, because it's not bad to have it all one solid color, but I'd much rather have it as a double color. So that's where this duraluminum will come in. And I wanted something darker, but not to a point where it became, you know, a metallic gray type color. So I hope this will suffice in the end. So I can't wait to try this. It, you know, based on this little bit where I've spilt it, it looks to be exactly the color I'm hoping for. So we'll wait and see. Like I said, I'm gonna go wait another day here, let that dry a little bit longer, and then I'll be working at that. So thankfully I have other projects on the go, so I can go work on those right now. Everything's been sanded down after all the puttying there, and it turned out really well, I think. This is really weird plastic. Like, it's... I don't quite know how to explain it. It's like, it's really, really tough. It's really, really strong, and I was kind of worried that it was actually going to resist the putty, but you sand it down, and it's just so smooth afterwards. It's just kind of glass-like after you sand it. You know, usually even after whatever model it may be, it has at least some texture to it. And you know, there's some little scratch marks like here on the intakes, and that's, yeah, I'm gonna prime it, and hopefully that's gonna get rid of a lot of the little scratches, and then whatever it doesn't get rid of, I can just kind of sand those down smooth again. That's my hope. So we're gonna add on here, or at least I am. If you're building along, then I guess we are. All the little doors and flaps and stuff. So this is kind of cool. I like this. So these are the brakes, and then it has this little bit of a lip on it right here. Let me focus. Come on. I don't care about the background. I don't care about... There we go. So you can see that little bit of a lip right there, and that's so you can put it open or closed. So you can sit them in there like this, and it sits in there quite comfortably. But I want them closed. I don't mind about that. And that needs to be sanded down. Just a little bit on that front corner. Let's try this now. Yeah, that's a better fit. But not perfect. We're going to do the whole thing. I do have a bit of a problem with it, and that is I can't figure out what the square is on the bottom. Like, I've been looking in the books and stuff. Well, the only thing I could see was on one, and it was like it was kind of like a guess from the picture, because it wasn't the best picture, but it kind of looked like a door for the for a parachute. Yeah, my books don't have anything on it, so kind of flying blind on that one. So yeah, I'm not sure what that is. It also doesn't have the tail hook on it. They never included that in the kit, so just nicely apply some extra thin. And one of these days I would like to actually build a double-seated trainer version. I found one online. But I want to get the Matchbox kit. The TF. And paint that as a Canadian one. Okay, that worked out pretty darn well. And it looks good. So the other one here. So the other stuff I need to add is the stabilizer and the 2 doors. Now what I think I'm going to do is put in all the landing gear pieces and the doors and all that stuff, etc. And I think all the interior of the landing gear, I'm just going to keep it the same color. Like, I'm just going to paint it all at once, and if I really want to have it as a different color once it's all done, I can just hand brush this aluminum or chrome or something, you know, and that'll just have it as a different color. But it kind of needs to be on there right now. And for sanding, all the putty and stuff like that, these Tamiya sanding sponges are heaven sent, as far as I'm concerned. They're incredible for getting into all the little nooks and crannies of the model. So this one's a bit too big, so we're gonna take it off on the bottom. Ugh, that's not as nice of a fit as the other one. Like, look at that big gap in there. Yuck. Oh well. Do what I can to get around that. The other thing I'm going to do is, next I'm going to build the tanks and clean up the stabilizer, but I'll get to that in a moment, after I get all this stuff done. Because I don't know if those need to be puttied, and they're going to be painted red, especially the stabilizer. I'd like to paint the stabilizer red, and then just mask it over. Ugh, look at that gap. Not as nice as the other side, eh? Oh. Oops. That's not what I wanted to have happen. Got a big old fingerprint right there. And I can fix that with some 1000 grit once it's dry. So, I'm going to leave that there. Put all the rest of this stuff on, and then we're going to go assemble the tanks.